No, any type of incandescent wall mount fixture cannot be located within 5 ft of a bathtub in a bathroom. This is due to safety regulations outlined in the National Electrical Code, also known as the NEC. The NEC establishes minimum safety standards for electrical installations to protect people and property from electrical hazard. Bathrooms, with their inherent presence of water, are considered potentially hazardous environments. This is why specific rules govern the type and placement of electrical fixtures in these areas. Firstly, proximity to water increases the risk of electric shock. Water is a good conductor of electricity, and if an electrical fault occurs in a fixture located close to a bathtub, the water can become energized, posing a severe threat to anyone in or near the tub. Secondly, incandescent fixtures generate heat. If a fixture is too close to a bathtub or shower, there is a possibility that someone could accidentally touch it and get burned. Furthermore, the heat from the fixture combined with the moisture in the bathroom could create conditions that could lead to corrosion of the fixture or electrical components. Thirdly, the NEC addresses these risks by specifying clearance requirements for luminaires, which is also known as lighting fixtures, around bathtubs and showers. These requirements are designed to create a safety zone where the risk of electrical shock is minimized. Within this zone, only certain types of fixtures that are specifically designed and rated for wet or damp locations are permitted. Furthermore, ground fault circuit interrupter, also known as GFCI, protection is typically required for all circuits serving bathroom receptacles and lighting fixtures. A GFCI is a device that monitors the current flowing in a circuit and quickly cuts off the power if it detects a leakage current, such as one that could flow through a person in contact with water and an energized part. The specific requirements for the location of luminaires around bathtubs and showers are detailed in Article 410.10 of the NEC. This section divides the area around a bathtub or shower into zones and specifies the types of luminaires that are allowed in each zone. The zone extending 3 ft horizontally and 8 ft vertically from the top of the bathtub rim, or shower stall threshold, is considered a hazardous location. Within this zone, only luminaires that are listed for wet locations are permitted. This means that the fixtures have been tested and certified to withstand exposure to water without posing a safety risk. Outside of this zone, but still within 5 ft of the bathtub or shower, luminaires must be listed for damp locations. Damp locations are areas that are subject to moisture but not direct contact with water. Incandescent fixtures that are not specifically listed for wet or damp locations are not permitted within 5 ft of a bathtub. This is because these fixtures are not designed to withstand the moisture present in a bathroom environment, and they could pose an electrical shock hazard. The NEC also requires that all luminaires installed in bathrooms be grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and energizing the circuit. This helps to protect against electrical shock in the event of a fault. In addition to the NEC requirements, local electrical codes may have additional restrictions on the placement of luminaires in bathrooms. It is important to check with the local electrical inspection authority to ensure that all applicable codes are being followed. In summary, the NEC prohibits the installation of incandescent fixtures that are not listed for wet or damp locations within 5 ft of a bathtub or shower. This is to protect against the risk of electrical shock and other hazards. When installing luminaires in bathrooms, it is important to choose fixtures that are specifically designed and rated for the environment and to follow all applicable codes and regulations. It is also recommended to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant. Here are some additional details to consider. Firstly, the NEC defines the luminaire as a complete lighting unit consisting of a lamp or lamps together with the parts designed to distribute the light to position and protect the lamps and to connect the lamps to the power supply. Secondly, the term listed means that the equipment or materials have been evaluated by a recognized testing laboratory and found to comply with applicable standards. Thirdly, wet locations are defined as areas where water or other liquids may drip, splash, or flow on or against electrical equipment. Examples of wet locations include areas that are subject to direct exposure to the weather, such as outdoor locations, and some interior locations that are subject to washing or splashing with water. Fourthly, damp locations are defined as areas that are subject to moderate degrees of moisture, such as some basements, barns, cold storage warehouses, and similar locations. Fifthly, the NEC requires that all 125 volts, 15 amps and 20 amps receptacles installed in bathrooms be GFCI protected. This requirement has been in place for many years, and it has significantly reduced the risk of electrical shock in bathrooms. Sixthly, the NEC also requires that all circuits serving bathroom lighting fixtures be GFCI protected. This requirement is nearer than the receptacle requirement, but it is becoming increasingly common. Seventhly, when installing a luminaire in a bathroom, it is important to consider the type of lamp that will be used. Incandescent lamps produce a lot of heat, so they should not be installed in enclosed fixtures or near combustible materials. Eighthly, compact fluorescent lamps, also known as CFL, and light-emitting diode lamps, also known as LED, produce less heat than incandescent lamps, so they are a better choice for enclosed fixtures or near combustible materials. Ninthly, it is also important to consider the color temperature of the lamp. Color temperature is a measure of the warmth or coolness of the light. Warm light has a color temperature of around 2700 Kelvin, also known as K, while cool light has a color temperature of around 5000 K. Tenthly, most people prefer warm light in bathrooms because it is more relaxing. 11thly, when choosing a luminaire for a bathroom, it is important to select one that is appropriate for the size of the bathroom. A small bathroom will not need as much light as a large bathroom. 12thly, it is also important to consider the style of the luminaire. There are many different styles of luminaires available, so it is important to choose one that complements the decor of the bathroom. 13thly, when installing a luminaire in a bathroom, it is important to follow all of the manufacturer's instructions. 14thly, it is also important to make sure that the luminaire is properly grounded. 15thly, if you are not comfortable installing a luminaire yourself, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. 16thly, bathrooms are considered wet or damp locations due to the presence of water and humidity, making them more prone to electrical hazards. 17thly, the NEC provides specific guidelines for electrical installations in these areas to minimize the risk of electric shock. 18thly, these guidelines include requirements for GFCI protection, proper grounding, and the use of appropriate fixtures listed for wet or damp locations. 19thly, the NEC defines specific zones around bathtubs and showers to regulate the placement of electrical fixtures. 20thly, within these zones, only certain types of fixtures that are designed to withstand moisture and prevent electrical hazards are permitted. 21stly, the NEC also addresses the installation of recessed lighting fixtures in bathrooms, requiring them to be listed for wet locations and installed with appropriate clearances from combustible materials. 22ndly, following these guidelines ensures the safety of individuals using the bathroom and prevents potential electrical accidents. 23rdly, incandescent fixtures, which produce light by heating a filament, are generally not recommended for use in wet or damp locations due to the risk of bulb breakage and electrical shock. 24thly, in addition to the NEC requirements, local building codes may have additional restrictions on the placement of electrical fixtures in bathrooms, so it is essential to consult with local authorities to ensure compliance. 25thly, when choosing lighting fixtures for bathrooms, it is important to consider factors such as energy efficiency, light output, and aesthetic appeal, in addition to safety considerations. 26thly, LED lighting fixtures are becoming increasingly popular in bathrooms due to their energy efficiency, long lifespan, and ability to provide a variety of lighting options. 27thly, when installing electrical outlets in bathrooms, they must be GFCI protected and located in accordance with the NEC guidelines to prevent electrical hazards. 28thly, it is also important to ensure that all electrical wiring in bathrooms is properly insulated and protected from moisture to prevent short circuits and other electrical problems. 29thly, regular inspections of electrical fixtures and wiring in bathrooms can help identify potential hazards and prevent accidents. 30thly, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work in bathrooms to ensure that it it is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. 30. Firstly, proper grounding is essential for all electrical fixtures and wiring in bathrooms to provide a safe path for fault current to flow back to the source and prevent electrical shock. 30. Secondly, GFCI protection is designed to detect even small amounts of leakage current and quickly cut off the power to prevent electrical shock, making it an essential safety feature in bathrooms. 30. Thirdly, when selecting lighting fixtures for bathrooms, it is important to choose fixtures that are easy to clean and maintain to prevent the buildup of moisture and grime. 34thly, proper ventilation in bathrooms can help reduce humidity levels and prevent moisture damage to electrical fixtures and wiring. 35thly, it is important to avoid overloading electrical circuits in bathrooms by plugging in too many appliances or devices at once, as this can create a fire hazard. 36thly, never use extension cords in bathrooms, as they can be a trip hazard and increase the risk of electrical shock. 37thly, keep electrical appliances and devices away from water sources in bathrooms to prevent electrical shock. 38thly, if you notice any signs of electrical problems in your bathroom, such as flickering lights, sparking outlets, or a burning smell, immediately turn off the power to the circuit and call a qualified electrician. 39thly, electrical safety in bathrooms is crucial to protect yourself and your family from potential hazards. 40thly, by following the NEC guidelines and taking the necessary precautions, you can create a safe and comfortable bathroom environment.